She posted, "Finally free from that loser." I commented, "Same," with a photo of my new mansion key. Her story reposts begging for closure? Ratioed to Oblivion. Looking back, I should have paid more attention to how Madison handled stress, but I was too busy trying to be the supportive boyfriend she claimed to need. I'm a cryptocurrency consultant, nothing glamorous, but the market had been good to me lately and I'd been quietly building something substantial while Madison worked her public relations magic downtown. "I need to take this client consultation trip to Miami," Madison announced on a Tuesday evening, setting down her phone with that practiced casualness she used when dropping bombs. "It's for the Morrison account, and honestly, Jake, you've been way too demanding about apartment stuff lately. I need space to think." She said this while folding a designer bikini into her Louis Vuitton suitcase, which seemed like odd attire for business meetings, but what did I know about public relations? I watched her pack 3 different cocktail dresses, each one more revealing than anything she'd worn to our dates in months. "Trevor from the Miami office is coordinating everything," she added, not meeting my eyes. "He's handling all the dinner reservations and conference schedules." Trevor. The name kept coming up in hushed phone conversations I'd been pretending not to notice. Madison's phone buzzed constantly while she packed, and every notification made her smile in ways that used to be reserved for me. "That's probably him now," she said, grabbing her phone and walking to the bathroom for privacy. Through the thin walls, I caught fragments about, "Can't wait to see you," and "Jake doesn't suspect anything." When she emerged, her cheeks were flushed with excitement I hadn't seen in months. "Work stuff," she said with a shrug that didn't fool either of us. The morning of her departure, I helped load her Tesla with enough luggage for a month-long vacation, not a 5-day business trip. Madison had packed jewelry I'd given her for special occasions, expensive perfume she claimed was too good for everyday wear, and lingerie with tags still attached. "You sure this isn't overkill for client meetings?" I asked, hefting her second suitcase. "Image matters in my industry," she replied, but her voice had that defensive edge that meant she was lying. Her phone rang as we finished loading the car, and Trevor's name lit up the screen. Madison answered immediately, her voice dropping to that breathy tone she used to use with me. "I'll be there in 3 hours, she said, walking away from me. "No, he doesn't know anything. We're good." She kissed me goodbye with lips that felt rehearsed, mechanical. "I'll think about our future while I'm gone," she said, which felt more like a threat than a promise. As her Tesla disappeared around the corner, I noticed she was already texting someone saved as T with a heart emoji. That's when I knew our 3-year relationship was about to become my greatest lesson in recognizing my own worth. 3 days into Madison's supposed business trip, my phone exploded with notifications I wasn't expecting. Kyle, my former fraternity brother who'd moved to Miami for work, tagged me in an Instagram story with a location pinned for South Beach. The image showed Madison and a man I didn't recognize walking hand in hand along the waterfront, both wearing wedding rings except Trevor's finger was clearly bare despite him claiming to be married during Madison's many phone calls about coordinating with the married colleague. I screenshot everything before Kyle could delete it, my hands surprisingly steady as I documented my girlfriend's affair in real time. Instead of calling Madison immediately like she probably expected, I opened my laptop and contacted Rebecca, my real estate agent who'd been showing me a downtown penthouse for months. "That unit we looked at last week," I typed. "I want to make an offer today. Full asking price, cash from my crypto portfolio." The same cryptocurrency investments Madison always mocked as fake internet money were about to buy me a genuine upgrade from our shared mediocrity. While Madison posted fake conference selfies with captions about networking with industry leaders and learning so much at these professional development sessions, I was orchestrating something she'd never see coming. I reached out to Sierra, Madison's college roommate who Madison frequently dismissed as desperate and still living in the past. Sierra had started her own marketing firm after graduating, something Madison always downplayed because it made her own entry-level PR job look less impressive. "Want to help me celebrate some major life changes?" I texted Sierra with a photo of my penthouse purchase agreement. "Madison's out of town, and I'm finally ready to upgrade everything. Sierra responded within minutes with enthusiasm that felt genuine, not calculated. Jake, I always thought you deserved better than her attitude. What are we celebrating exactly? I explained the situation without mentioning Madison's affair directly, just that we were done and I was moving into a space worthy of someone who actually appreciated success. Sierra arrived at my old apartment the next evening with champagne and a knowing smile that suggested she'd figured out more than I'd told her. She has no idea what she's losing, Sierra said, examining the penthouse photos on my phone while Madison posted another staged conference dinner picture with Trevor cropped carefully out of frame. This place has better views than anything she's ever dreamed of affording. Sierra's marketing background meant she understood the power of strategic social media, and we spent the evening planning content that would showcase my new independence without directly attacking Madison's ongoing deception. Let her think she's winning with her fake professional trip, Sierra suggested, pouring another glass of champagne. Meanwhile, we'll document something real. The irony wasn't lost on me that Madison's most frequent target for jealousy was about to become my partner in demonstrating exactly what moving up in the world actually looked like. 2 days later, I was standing in my new downtown penthouse with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city skyline, the same views Madison had always called overpriced showing off whenever we'd driven past these buildings. Sierra arrived early to help coordinate what she dubbed my independence celebration, wearing a designer dress she'd bought specifically for the occasion and carrying professional camera equipment I didn't know she owned. Tonight's about documenting your upgrade, she explained, setting up ring lights that made the already impressive space look absolutely cinematic. Madison spent years making you feel like you weren't good enough, so we're going to show everyone exactly how wrong she was. I watched Sierra transform my empty penthouse into something that looked like a magazine spread, arranging furniture I'd ordered and flowers she'd brought to create perfect Instagram moments. The guest list Sierra had assembled read like a who's who of local success stories, people from her marketing network who actually built things instead of just talking about building things like Madison's PR crowd. David, who'd sold his tech startup at 28, arrived with his entrepreneur girlfriend who immediately started posting stories about the incredible space and best party in downtown. Lisa, a successful real estate investor, spent 30 minutes on the balcony taking photos of the city views while Madison posted another fake conference selfie from her hotel lobby. This place has better bones than anything I've seen this year, Lisa told me, and I felt the satisfaction of finally surrounding myself with people who recognized quality instead of dismissing it as pretentious. Sierra documented everything with professional precision, creating Instagram stories that showcased not just the penthouse but the caliber of people who appreciated it. Her marketing expertise meant every shot was strategic, highlighting the space's luxury without looking desperate for attention the way Madison's posts always did. She's going to lose her mind when she sees this, Sierra said, reviewing footage on her camera while our guests mingled on the balcony. 3 years of making you feel small, and now she gets to watch you literally rise above everything she thought you'd ever achieve. I stood at the windows watching the city lights reflect off the glass while Madison posted another staged professional dinner photo with Trevor, completely unaware that her world was about to shift permanently. The contrast was perfect. Her fake conference posts versus my genuine celebration of actual accomplishment, her desperate affair versus my authentic connection with people who valued substance over manipulation. By midnight, Sierra's stories had attracted attention from local influencers and business contacts I'd never connected with before, people commenting about collaborations and investment opportunities while Madison's posts struggled to break 50 likes. This is what happens when you stop settling for someone who doesn't see your worth, Sierra said, raising her champagne glass as our last guest headed home. She spent 3 years convincing you that you weren't enough, but look around, Jake. This is who you really are. I looked out at the city sprawling below us, at the success I'd built while Madison was busy planning her exit strategy, and realized that her betrayal had actually freed me to become everything she'd convinced me I couldn't be. Madison returned from Miami a full day early, which I discovered when she started pounding on our old apartment door at 6 in the morning while I was enjoying coffee in my penthouse kitchen. My phone exploded with increasingly frantic calls that I let go straight to voicemail, each message more desperate than the last as she realized her key no longer worked and her belongings were packed neatly in boxes by the entrance. "Jake, what the hell is going on?" her first voicemail demanded. "My stuff is in the hallway and the locks are changed. Call me back right now." Apparently Trevor had refused to leave his wife as promised, choosing his family and reputation over Madison's fantasy about their Miami future, leaving her scrambling to salvage what she thought was her backup plan with me. By noon, Madison had pivoted to social media warfare, posting an Instagram story titled, "Finally Free from That Loser," with photos of our old apartment and captions about how she'd dodged a bullet with someone who never appreciated her ambition or potential for greatness. She included shots of herself looking triumphant among the moving boxes, spinning her abandonment as liberation and claiming she was ready for someone who matches her energy and vision. I watched her performance with detached amusement while Sierra sent me screenshots from her marketing colleagues who were already commenting about the obvious desperation behind Madison's forced celebration. "She's really going full scorched earth," Sierra texted. "Perfect timing for your response." I waited exactly 30 minutes for Madison's story to gain traction before commenting simply, "Same," with a photo of my penthouse keys against the city skyline backdrop, the modern building's address clearly visible in the image. The effect was immediate and devastating as mutual friends and strangers alike began responding with laughing emojis and fire symbols, recognizing the brutal contrast between Madison's apartment boxes and my obvious upgrade. Within hours, her victory post had become a ratio catastrophe with comments like, "She really thought she won," and "Imagine fumbling this hard," flooding her notifications while my simple response gained hundreds of likes. Madison's story exploded beyond her usual audience as Sierra's network began sharing screenshots with captions about, "When karma has perfect timing," and "The best revenge is living well." Her attempt at public humiliation backfired spectacularly when people realized she was celebrating losing someone who'd clearly moved on to something exponentially better. The apartment she was calling freedom looked like a studio closet compared to my penthouse, and her forced smiles couldn't hide the panic in her eyes as she watched her narrative crumble in real time. By evening, Madison had deleted the original story and posted a desperate follow-up asking people to respect her privacy during this transition. But the internet never forgets and the screenshots were already everywhere. I went to sleep that night in my new bedroom overlooking the city, listening to Madison's career contacts discuss her unprofessional meltdown, while my phone buzzed with collaboration requests from people who appreciated both success and dignity. The next week brought a digital warfare campaign that made Madison's initial meltdown look like amateur hour compared to what followed. She spent her days creating increasingly desperate Instagram stories begging for closure and mature conversation about what we built together, conveniently forgetting that she'd been building something entirely different with Trevor in Miami while I was home planning our supposed future. Her posts shifted from celebration to victimhood with captions like, "Some people can't handle honest communication," and "Growth means leaving toxic situations behind," each story more transparent than the last about her regret over losing her financial security. I maintained complete radio silence while documenting every desperate attempt she made to rewrite history, watching her professional facade crumble as her personal drama leaked into her work life. Sierra's penthouse content continued gaining momentum across multiple platforms, attracting collaboration offers and business opportunities that Madison had always claimed were impossible in our city. "The algorithm loves authenticity," Sierra explained while reviewing engagement metrics that showed my lifestyle content outperforming Madison's desperate attempts at damage control by enormous margins. Marketing firms reached out about partnerships, cryptocurrency companies wanted consulting agreements, and real estate investors inquired about my portfolio strategy, all while Madison's posts struggled to break double-digit engagement. "She trained you to think small," Sierra observed, "but look at what happens when you actually embrace your potential." Madison's professional network began questioning her judgment after her meltdown went viral on LinkedIn, where several of her PR colleagues had shared screenshots asking about appropriate professional behavior and maintaining client trust during personal transitions. Her carefully curated professional image, built on projecting stability and strategic thinking, collapsed when potential clients saw her emotional social media spiral and started asking hard questions about her decision-making abilities. I watched from my penthouse as Madison created multiple fake accounts to boost her own posts while Sierra's authentic content attracted genuine business connections, the contrast highlighting exactly why authenticity always wins over manipulation in the long run. The situation escalated beyond social media when Trevor's wife discovered their affair through Madison's Miami posts and geotag evidence, leading to a public exposure in the Miami business community that destroyed Trevor's reputation and cost Madison her only professional contact in that market. Madison's desperate attempts to distance herself from the scandal only made her look more culpable as screenshots surfaced showing her bragging about upgrading her entire life during what she claimed was a professional conference. Her PR firm began receiving concerned calls from clients who'd seen her unprofessional social media behavior, forcing Madison to explain why her personal drama was affecting business relationships she'd spent years building. She thought she was playing chess, Sierra commented while showing me Madison's plummeting social media metrics, but she was actually playing with dynamite. By month's end, Madison had lost 2 major clients and faced a formal reprimand from her firm's ethics board, while my cryptocurrency consulting business gained 3 new institutional clients who discovered me through Sierra's strategic content marketing. 2 months after Madison's social media implosion, the legal and professional consequences began hitting with devastating precision. Madison attempted to claim financial abuse regarding our shared apartment arrangements, desperately trying to salvage something from the wreckage of her reputation, but legal consultation revealed what I'd always known. Her name had never been on the lease and I'd paid every deposit, utility bill, and upgrade out of my own accounts. Her lawyer dropped the case after reviewing bank statements that showed 3 years of me funding her lifestyle while she contributed nothing beyond occasional grocery runs she'd expense to me later. She has no legal standing for any financial claims, my attorney explained with barely concealed amusement. If anything, she'd owe you thousands in unpaid contributions. Madison's attempt to weaponize victim narratives backfired completely when documentation proved she'd been the financial parasite, not the victim. Meanwhile, Sierra's marketing expertise had transformed my casual cryptocurrency consulting into a 6-figure enterprise, with clients seeking everything from portfolio diversification strategies to blockchain implementation consulting. Her content marketing approach attracted serious business connections who valued expertise over hype, leading to consulting contracts with firms that Madison's PR contacts could never have accessed. Your knowledge was always valuable, Sierra pointed out while reviewing my quarterly earnings projections. She just convinced you to undervalue it because keeping you insecure served her purposes. The cryptocurrency investments Madison had mocked as fake internet money were generating monthly returns that exceeded her annual salary, while her PR career stagnated under the weight of her reputation damage. Sierra and I had grown closer through our professional collaboration, her marketing brilliance complementing my analytical mindset in ways that created genuine synergy instead of the one-sided dynamic I'd endured with Madison. Where Madison had demanded constant financial support while contributing criticism and complaints, Sierra brought actual value through strategic thinking and business development that elevated both our careers. This is what partnership actually looks like, Sierra said during a planning session for my expanded consulting business, and I realized she was right about more than just our professional relationship. When I presented her with an engagement ring 6 months later, chosen specifically for someone who appreciated thought and planning rather than just demanding expensive gestures, her genuine excitement felt like everything Madison's performative gratitude had never been. The engagement announcement became Sierra's most successful social media campaign, professionally shot content that showcased not just our relationship but the business success we'd built together. The post gained thousands of likes and comments from business contacts congratulating both our personal happiness and professional achievements, while Madison's social media had devolved into desperate attempts to remain relevant through increasingly transparent thirst traps and motivational quotes about knowing your worth. The contrast was stark, Sierra's authentic success versus Madison's manufactured desperation, genuine celebration versus desperate attention-seeking. Madison's attempt to congratulate us through a passive-aggressive comment about some people moving fast was immediately buried under an avalanche of genuine well-wishes from people who actually mattered. I watched Madison's follower count plummet while our engagement announcement attracted business inquiries and collaboration requests, proof that authenticity and genuine partnership always triumph over manipulation and parasitic behavior in both personal and professional contexts. 1 year after Madison's Miami affair exploded her carefully constructed life, Sierra and I launched our joint social media campaign announcing both our engagement and the merger of our businesses into a comprehensive digital marketing and cryptocurrency consulting firm. The professional photography showcased our penthouse office space, complete with city views and the success metrics that Madison had always claimed were impossible to achieve in our market. Our combined Instagram posts gained viral traction as business publications picked up our story about power couple entrepreneurship and building authentic brands in the digital age. Within hours, we'd attracted interview requests from major publications and speaking opportunities at industry conferences, while Madison's latest posts about finding herself struggled to break 50 likes despite her desperate attempts to capitalize on trending hashtags. The networking event where Madison made her final approach was a blockchain technology conference where I was scheduled as a keynote speaker, ironically discussing how cryptocurrency investments had transformed my life and business prospects. Madison appeared at the VIP reception wearing an obviously borrowed designer dress and fake smile, approaching our table with the calculated confidence of someone practicing lines in the mirror. "Jake, congratulations on all your growth," she said, emphasizing the word growth like it was some kind of inside joke. "I always knew you had potential. I'm just glad someone finally helped you see it." Sierra handled Madison's transparent manipulation attempt with professional grace that made Madison's desperation even more obvious by contrast. "Thank you for the motivation," Sierra replied smoothly, raising her champagne glass toward Madison with genuine appreciation. "Your actions really clarified what Jake deserved in a partner, and honestly, we're grateful for that clarity." The comment landed with surgical precision as Madison processed that her betrayal had directly created both our personal relationship and business success, her face cycling through confusion, realization, and finally devastating comprehension. "You two seem very happy together," Madison managed, her voice cracking slightly as she watched Sierra's engagement ring catch the light while my arm wrapped naturally around the woman who'd actually earned my partnership through contribution rather than manipulation. Madison's composure shattered completely when she overheard our conversation with a venture capital firm about expanding into blockchain consulting for Fortune 500 companies, representing the exact type of high-level business success she'd always claimed to want but never worked toward achieving. "Some people just get lucky," she muttered loud enough for our table to hear, prompting Sierra to respond with devastating kindness. "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity, and Jake had both long before I came along." The VIP reception buzzed with business cards and collaboration discussions while Madison stood alone checking her phone repeatedly, her social media exile serving as perfect justice for someone who'd chosen deception over loyalty and manipulation over genuine partnership. The story concluded perfectly 6 months later when Sierra's engagement announcement gained over 10,000 likes and attracted coverage in 3 business publications, while Madison's wedding posts from her desperate rebound marriage to a community college administrator barely registered double-digit engagement despite her purchase of fake followers. Our wedding was attended by industry leaders and genuine friends who celebrated our authentic success, while Madison's ceremony was documented only by family members who'd grown tired of her victim narratives about toxic exes who couldn't handle her ambition. I watched Madison's final attempt to compete with our happiness through her honeymoon posts that looked increasingly forced and desperate, her social media presence having devolved into a cautionary tale about the consequences of treating partners as resources rather than people. The last time I checked her Instagram, she was posting motivational quotes about new beginnings to an audience that had largely moved on, while our business was featured on magazine covers and Sierra was invited to speak at international marketing conferences, proving that genuine partnership and authentic success always triumph over manipulation and parasitic behavior in the end.